Hey there, guys. I'm Cerise Fairfax. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Saturday Storytime, Dark Side of a Working Girl. And I'm just going to drink some coffee. It has a little bit of nutmeg in it. Here in the Dominican Republic, a lot of people that make coffee sometimes put cinnamon in it or nutmeg in it. This tastes so nutmeggy delicious. Alrighty. This story time is from a woman that lives in Sosua now. She's originally from Santiago. And let's get into her story. By the way, I'm sitting in Sosua in a little neighborhood called Los Cheramicos in a province called Puerto Plata, right here in the beautiful Dominican Republic. If you're thinking about coming, give me a shout. I can help you out. My information is below. Without any further ado, let's go. Hi, my name is Lucida, and I guess you can say that my dark side came out one night when I was dealing with someone. You see, I am a working girl, but I go back and forth with it. Sometimes I don't mind being on the streets and the casinos and picking up foreigners. But then at other times, it makes me upset that I have to do that type of work because I am smart. It's just that I had a bad go in life. And I really want to be a business owner. I do have dreams, even though a lot of them have been crushed. I'm 29 now. I feel like I'm getting old. I don't look old, thank God. I look younger for my age. But I tend to feel old. I slept with a lot of men, and for very little. I feel like each one of those men have taken a piece of my soul. I feel like each one of them have chipped away at me as a masterpiece, taken something from me and given me back very little but bad memories and gross emotions. And one day, I had a breakdown, a meltdown. I just lost it. I don't know what happened, but I remember most of it. At this moment, I was working at a bar. It was during my off the streets mentality day. Every now and again, I like to just go work in a bar or a restaurant. But a lot of the places won't hire me because they know that I was a working girl. And they know that they may hire me and I'll work for about a month or two and then I'll quit and go back on the streets. So they don't have much faith in me, but they don't pay me enough. If they paid me as much as I got working on the streets, then I would work in a bar all the time because it's one of my dreams to own a restaurant, a bar. I'm a pretty good cook. And I'm a very good host. Anyway, this one day, I was in the bar and I was serving a foreigner. He came in, and this was more recently. He hasn't been here because the world closed down due to, the big problem that was going on. And so he wasn't here for about 3 years. And when he got back, he realized that the prices were higher. And he was complaining about that when he got into the bar. He's like, "This is my favorite bar ever." And I said, "Oh, yeah?" And he sat down and he's like, Hey, where's my favorite hostess? Where's my favorite girls? No one's here. It's only you. And I said, well, two girls have the day off today, and I'm new. And he's like, oh, great, my first time back in Sosua, and this is what I see. Expensive prices on rent, expensive prices on everything. They're changing Playa Sosua, and look at you. You're not even my regular server. You look like a washed up whore. Now, he didn't need to say that to me. And no, I don't look like a washed up whore. But I do look like one of the street girls. I have longer nails. I do wear a wig. And I dress very provocatively. I guess he could tell that I was a working girl originally. It's not hard to miss us. We just have that look. But I definitely don't look washed up, and I look younger for my age, and I know that. He was just being mean because his new vacation started off rough. And a lot of people that come here and their vacation starts off with a few little blips, they take it out on us Dominicans and Haitians as well. And it's really not our fault. They need to just sit back and relax, and within a few days, that little blip will end and they will start enjoying themselves. It happens to some people. I've heard of some people losing their luggage, other people losing their passports, other people, the other opposite has happened. As soon as they land, wonderful things happen, and the end of their vacation sucks. Some people, their vacation is wonderful from the beginning to the end. But very few people, very few, have a vacation that starts out bad and ends bad. Well, he was going on, and I thought to myself, you know what? If I'm going to get any tips out of this mofo today, I'm going to have to give him a shot on the house. So I did. And I said, you know what? I hear you. You're not the only one complaining about this, but the world is changing. It's not only here in the Dominican Republic, it's all around the world. And, let me just give you a shot on the house. And he's like, you know what kind of shot I want? And then, of course, he started to speak to me sexually. But I'm a big girl, so I took it. And I gave him the shot. He ordered a beer. And then after that, he took a shot with his every beer. And he was drinking fast. And he was drinking a lot. Within about an hour and a half, his personality warmed up and he was nicer. And he apologized to me about what he said. And he's like, you don't look washed up. He's like, you're beautiful. I just was in a stinky mood. And I said, thank you very much. Then he said to me, hey, can you get me a place that's not a gringo price? And I said, I'm sorry, gringo price is not really a real thing. There's real prices, and then there's prices that us Dominicans pay for because a lot of us can't afford the real price, so we get discounts. But whatever price someone gives you, that is the price. It's not a gringo price. You are just paying the true price because you can. And he was like, what? I don't understand. And I said, yes, you see, Dominicans, we get discounted prices because we can't pay the full price. And you can't dare ask for a Dominican price because you can't dare live a Dominican lifestyle. And he's like, what's a Dominican lifestyle? And I said, well, for instance, sometimes not knowing if you're going to have any food or any money, how you're going to wash your clothes, maybe not even have soap for some people. And some people, they do have soap and food, but everyone pools their income together. And he's like, I could live like a Dominican, no problem. So I said to him, well, You should visit the countryside sometime and see how they work and what they have to do every single day. Even their animals sometimes are starving to death. And he said to me, take me to the countryside. Take me to this countryside you're talking about. I've been to the countryside. I've been coming here for a long time, and I see farmers out there. They got avocados, they got mangoes, they got everything. Corn. They're not starving. And I said, okay, well, some people are. And he's like, they got chickens. They're eating their own chickens. They know how to farm. And I said, yes, you're right. But some people don't have what foreigners have. And he's like, well, they can barter. If they got a chicken, they can barter for milk. If they don't got milk, and then they can barter for something else. And I said, yes, but they are not free to go buy what they want. So if they do come to town and they do want to go buy a cup of fruit on the street from the fruit man, and the original price is 100 pesos, they may not have 100 pesos on them, so they will get it at cost. And he said, oh, that just doesn't make sense to me. So then I have to pay the gringo price? And I said, well, you have to pay the original price. And I broke it down for him. You have to pay for people to pick the fruit, cut the fruit, carry the fruit, and sell the fruit. You have to pay for people's time and efforts and energy. And he still didn't get it. He ended up getting drunk, and his motor concho picked him up and took him home. The next day he came to the bar, and I wasn't working. But I was at the bar having a couple of drinks because I was trying to stay off the street, and I thought I would go there and have a couple of drinks since I can drink rum there for free. When he showed up, he sat down beside me and he said, don't think I forgot our conversation about yesterday. I want you to take me to this countryside that you were talking about. So I did. I said, you want to go now? He said, well, sure. And I said, come on, let's go. Buy a bottle of rum at the store, and we'll take a bottle of rum. We'll go to the countryside. We'll go to the river. I'll introduce you to a few people there, and we'll see if one of those people will allow us to go to their home. And if they do, we'll buy some chicken, and we'll buy some yuca and banana, and we'll go to their home and cook. I thought it was a great idea. So did he at first. But then we get to the riverside, and we meet a couple of guys, and these guys are nice. And they said to him, okay, if you want to come to my house, I'll bring you to my house. The chicken is this much, that much. And they started to tell him how much everything was. And he said, F that. Chicken doesn't cost that much. You're giving me the gringo price. And we weren't. It's just that he wanted fresh chicken. Now, if he wanted to buy a chicken from one of these guys, and they would have to chop off the head and defeather it, and they would have to do everything. Cook it. And they didn't have any at that moment anyway. A lot of their chickens were still small. And what he wanted was a lot of chicken. It was better for them to go to the colmado, to the mini market, and get chicken that was already in the freezer and cut up. And they said to him, no, this is exactly what you want. You want to get at least 300 pesos, that's $6 worth of chicken, and it's good for everybody. Get another bottle of rum, because we ran out of rum at the river. And they said a big bottle is around 700 pesos. If you want to get a bigger bottle, it's 900 pesos. That's the true price. And then you have to get spices and yuca and banana. And he said, why do I have to get the spices? And why don't you guys just go cut the banana off a tree? And you don't have yuca? Why do I have to buy everything? And they just looked at me and they're like, oh, we don't want this guy in our house. He's a problem. And I said, oh, just give him a chance. He's upset because everything is so expensive right now and he feels like he's being used. I'm just trying to show him how hard it is for some Dominicans to live. And they said, but this guy has no heart. This guy's arguing about spices. Like, how much money would he spend at the bar? And all of this, we're giving him at cost, like at the price pretty much. We're not upping any of the prices. And this guy doesn't even want to spend 2,000 pesos, $40. If this was an excursion, like some type of tour, he would have to spend a lot more than that. And I tried to explain to them that, this is something that we can do to help our community. One less person that understands is one more person that can spread the word and help. So they said, okay, and they explained to the man they don't have the spices and they were really real with them, and they said, listen, we don't have enough spices like that just to, put on food that you're going to buy. You're buying a lot of food. You're buying like 300 pesos worth of meat. That's, that's spice that we have to use that we would normally use for our household family. And then he's like, well, what are you going to do with the spices that I buy today? Can I take them home with me? Can I take them to my Airbnb? And they're like, sure. They laughed. They said, oh my gosh. And they laughed. And, the one guy that did understand English, he told his friend. And all the boys, well, the young men, they were really started to laugh at him. He didn't like it very much because he was already a little drunk from the rum that we drank straight. And so he's like, you guys are playing games with me. You guys are laughing at me. And it wasn't even like that. Anyway, we ended up getting the meat. He ended up somehow deciding that he was going to spend a lot more money. He decided that he was going to spend 1,000 on food and then 1,000 on drinks. That's like $40. He wasn't arguing and fighting any longer. We got everything bought. We took everything to the backyard of this one guy's house and we started to play some music and we had drinks and we were eating food. And then this guy, he got up and he walked down the street and he just kept walking. He was yelling something. He was out of his mind and he was talking a lot about gringo this, gringo that. And I took him out of Concho when he was like halfway down the street. I got on a motorbike with one of the guys and I went over and I said, is everything okay? And he's like, get away from me. All you guys want to do is rip off foreigners. I just spent money on you guys and all I got was a little plate of food. I'm hungry. I'm going to look for food. And he didn't want to eat. He forgot. He told us he only wanted a little. We only gave him a little. And as he was walking, he was digging in his pockets and he said he was looking for his stuff, his change and his money. And so he dropped his wallet somewhere and didn't know where he put it. I told him I'd be right back and I would go look for it. I went with the moto and I went down by the beach area, the river area. We went down by everywhere where he was. I found it. He had his passport and his wallet both together in a plastic baggie, and the plastic baggie was on the ground. I picked it up, opened it up, took all the money out, the credit cards, and went back to him and told him that we couldn't find it. I told him that he needs to get on the moto, and the moto will take him back to Bate, where the tourists are, and he can get back to his Airbnb. I went back to the house and I distributed the money with everyone there. You know, they didn't need his food. It was nice that he bought more food than what he needed to, and it was kind of him. But he gave everyone a headache. And when he took off and walked away like that, he put everybody into a state of worry. We worry about foreigners when they get drunk and act like that. We don't want any problems. This is a foreigner in our country trying to get our benefits. They don't live like us. They don't struggle like us. They don't understand our frustration when we watch TV and we see people using the same apps as us, like WhatsApp and TikTok, and here we are living on this one island, and we are living in most times poverty, and these guys like him want to come here and they have the audacity to say, "Don't give me the gringo price." Who do they think they are? They're crazy. That's what they are. And then for him to do what he did, I wasn't going to give him his money back. And I gave it to the people who were more the rightful owners, because they should have been paid for their time, for their energy, for their love, for letting that stranger come in, and for understanding that he's a little crazy. So I gave his money all away, and I took a couple pesos for myself, and I was just going to rip up his passport and just throw it away, burn it. But my heart wouldn't allow me to, so I took it to the bar the next day, and with his empty wallet and the baggie, and I didn't know what to do with it. At first I was going to say he dropped it there before we left to go to the countryside, but I knew I couldn't because he was taking it out to pay for things. And then I didn't know how to give it back to him, because if I did, he would know that I took the money. I thought to myself I would take it to the police station and let the police give it to him. But then I wasn't sure that they would be that diligent and get it to him. So I thought I would just give it back to him and just be honest. And so I did. I handed him the baggie with his passport and his wallet, and I thought he would be happy to make sure he had everything. I even put the credit cards back inside. I was going to use the credit cards in Puerto Plata and go to Serena, La Serena, and Jumbo and buy a whole bunch of clothes, but I decided not to do that. I had a heart. So I handed him his baggie, everything intact except for the money. And he's like, "Wow, thank you for this." And I thought he was going to be grateful just for the fact that he got his passport back and cards, because the money could be replaced. It wasn't like it was thousands. It was only a couple of hundred. And he opened up his wallet very quickly. He checked through it. And then he looked at me. And he said, "You bitch. I knew the money was going to be gone." That's what he said. Instead of saying, Hey, money's gone, but you know what? It's fine. I have everything else. But he didn't. And so I had no mercy on him. All night as he was at the bar, he was, saying people that be careful of me, that I was a thief, and all this stuff. And because I was working that night. And I just ignored him and I ignored him. And music was playing and he was getting drunker and louder. Finally, I went over to him and I told him that if he's not quiet, he has to leave. And he just kind of quieted down. But I was the one closing the bar that night. And we were closing a little bit late. And he was the last one to leave. So the streets were a little quiet where the bar is located. Everyone was heading over towards the casino. I told him he had to leave. And I helped him up off the stool, took him out to the front. And as I was locking the door, I saw him walk out into the road. He tripped, he fell, and he got hit by a moto. I locked the door and I walked away. I don't know what happened to him. I did check on him in the hospital because I knew his first and last name from his passport that I had checked out. But apparently he was rushed to Puerto Plata. And I never heard anything else. I guess I feel bad because I could have helped him. I really could have helped him, but it was my decision to just leave it alone. He was a train wreck, and he just crashed. And I let him make his own bed and lay in it. You see, if you are a foreigner, and you come here and you behave like that, you're not going to get the respect that you're looking for. It may get you respect for a while, but not for a long time. Be good to people and treat people according to how you would like to be treated if you were in their shoes. Thank you for listening, guys. Have yourself a wonderful Saturday. Huge hugs, loads of love, big blesses. Please go ahead and subscribe.